Dear students, today's topic is Doppler broadening. So, before starting the Doppler broadening, we will discuss about the Doppler effect. So, what is the Doppler effect? Doppler effect in sound, it is a change in the frequency emitted by a source when there is relative motion between the source and the observer. Suppose this is the source and this is the observer, source S, and this is observer S O. Then if there is a relative motion between the source and observer, that is if either S is moving toward O, or they are moving to each other, or they are receding to each other, then this is called the relative motion of S and O, source and observer. Okay, so suppose there is a source moving with velocity v, having frequency nu, and moving in the direction z. So if observer observe from this direction, from in the z direction, z axis, okay, along this z axis, then the observed frequency, because source is moving with the frequency nu, so the observed frequency by the observer, that will be nu, and nu sorry, if source has the frequency nu naught, okay, source has the frequency nu naught, then source has the frequency nu naught, and observer is observing here in z direction, okay, and source is moving with velocity v, okay, then the observed frequency in z direction will be mu, and nu would not be equal to nu naught, but nu will be equal to nu naught into 1 plus minus Vz upon c, where Vz is the component component of velocity in z direction. Okay, so here in this formula, positive sign, this plus sign, there are two signs, one plus minus Vz upon c. So positive sign denotes that source and observer approaching each other, and negative sign denotes that or represents that source and observer receding from each other, that is in this way. Okay, so whenever source and observer approaching each other, the frequency observed by the observer will increases by the amount Vz upon c, nu naught into Vz upon c. Okay, and if the source and observer receding from each other, then the negative sign then the nu frequency observed by the observer will decrease by the factor, by the amount nu naught into Vz upon c. Okay, so Doppler effect is also significant in gases in which atoms move randomly due to thermal motion. As you know that atoms in gases move randomly due to thermal motion. Okay, so the frequency observed in them can be calculated by the Doppler effect. So consider an assembly of capital N atoms moving freely and behaving as the molecule of a gas. So if there are N atoms and they are behaving and they are moving like the molecules of a gas. So according to the kinetic theory of gases, the distribution of velocities of atoms in a gas at temperature T is given by Maxwellian velocity distribution. This is the Maxwell velocity distribution formula for n number of atoms. Here we are writing the n nu d nu is equal to 4 pi n 2 pi m upon 2 pi kt power 3 by 2 exponential minus m vz square upon 2 kt nu square d nu, where n nu d nu is the number of atoms with speeds between v and v plus d, and average speed of the molecule is v bar is equal to 0 to infinity v n nu d nu upon capital N. So it will become under root 8 into kt upon pi into m. Okay. So the inhomogeneous broadened line width can be represented by a Gaussian frequency distribution. So inhomogeneous, because we are discussing the inhomogeneous broadening. As you know that Doppler broadening comes in the category of inhomogeneous broadening. Okay, so we were discussing in the last lecture homogeneous broadening and inhomogeneous broadening, and in homogeneous broadening we have learned the collision broadening and natural broadening. So in the category of inhomogeneous broadening we are discussing the Doppler broadening. Okay, so the inhomogeneous broadened line width can be represented by a Gaussian frequency distribution, and for normalized distribution the equation is g nu is equal to 2 upon delta nu ln 2 upon pi power 1 by 2 exponential minus nu naught upon delta nu by 2 whole square ln 2 is valid. So this normalized distribution g nu is valid. Now from equation first, this equation nu equals to nu naught 1 plus vz upon plus minus vz upon c. This vz is equal to c upon v naught into v minus nu minus nu naught. Okay, c nu is equal to nu 0 1 plus minus vz by c. So nu upon nu naught is equal to 1 plus minus vz upon c. Okay, so nu upon nu naught, this will be nu upon nu naught is equal to, if we take negative signs, 1 minus vz by c. So vz value becomes 1 minus vz upon c is equal to nu by nu naught. So 1 minus nu by nu naught is equal to 1 minus vz, this will be Vz upon c. Okay, so this will be Vz. We have to find Vz. So Vz will be c into nu naught minus nu by nu naught. Nu naught minus nu by nu naught. Okay, so we will take positive sign, and from equation we can get Vz is equal to c by nu naught, nu minus nu naught, and dvz this is nu naught, okay, not v naught, and dvz will become c upon nu naught into d nu. Okay, so n nu d nu becomes n nu d nu. We are writing n nu d nu value from the equation, this equation. Okay, this. So here we are substituting the value of Vz. Okay, so substitute the value of Vz from here to that equation. So n nu d nu becomes n nu d nu is equal to m upon 2 pi kt whole power. This is 3 by 2. Okay, 3 by 2, and here is there is a factor 4 pi n exponential this, and put the value of Vz in the in place of Vz square. Okay, it will become c square upon nu naught square into nu minus nu naught whole square, nu square d nu. So the intensity emitted in the frequency interval nu and nu plus d nu is denoted by the I nu d nu, and I nu d nu is proportional to the number of radiating atoms in the velocity component between Vz and Vz plus dvz, irrespective of the value of velocity component along x and y axis. So this I nu depends on the number of radiating atoms in velocity range between Vz and Vz plus dvz. Okay, however, there will be the velocity value component of the velocity Vx or Vy, whatever they are, the irrespective of them, this is proportional to the number of radiating atoms, because Doppler shift is based upon the component of velocity of atom moving towards or away from the observer. So intensity will become I nu d nu is equal to C n nu d nu is equal to, because it is proportional to this, so we have put a constant here c. Okay, so c into m upon 2 pi kt, here there is a mistake here, 3 by 2 and 4 pi capital N. Okay, एक्सपोनेंशियल दिस, यहाँ पे एक करेक्शन कर लेना, 4 पाई n मल्टीप्लाई में, और यहाँ जो पावर है 3 by 2. ओके, सो आई न्यू इज इक्वल टू c dash exponential this term we can write, because this term and this term, ये सब क्या है, कांस्टेंट है. ओके, सो ये कांस्टेंट को हमने एक मान लिया है c डैश. सो ये डी न्यू को भी यहाँ से हटा दें अगर हम, सो ये हो जाएगा आपका c डैश जो है वो एक कांस्टेंट है. तो हम लिख सकते हैं कि जो आई न्यू है दैट इज़ प्रोपोर्शनल टू दिस टर्म, एक्सपोनेंशियल वाला टर्म जो है. ठीक है, तो एक्सपोनेंशियल माइनस m अपॉन 2 kVt और kt c स्क्वायर अपॉन म्यू नॉट स्क्वायर न्यू माइनस न्यू नॉट का होल स्क्वायर. So C and C dash are the constants of proportionality here. This equation is Gaussian and the frequency at which intensity drops to half its maximum value is this 1 by 2. So we can write that exponential of this is equal to 1 by 2. Okay. So exponential minus m upon 2 kt c square upon nu naught square into nu minus nu naught square is equal to half. So we can write this term is equal to ln of 2 because this is exponential of minus x is equal to अगर 1 by 2 है एक्सपोनेंशियल ई की पावर माइनस एक्स इज इक्वल टू अगर 1 by 2 है तो इसको हम लिख सकते हैं एक्सपोनेंशियल एक्स इज इक्वल टू 2. ठीक है, तो लॉग ले लेंगे अगर दोनों तरफ तो एल एन एक्स एल एन ई इज इक्वल टू क्या हो जाएगा एल एन 2. ठीक है, तो x इज इक्वल टू ये तो वैल्यू 1 हो गई तो x इज इक्वल टू हो गया एल एन 2. तो यही यहाँ पर लिखा हुआ है. एम अपॉन 2 के टी एक्स की जगह पे यहाँ पे क्या है एम अपॉन 2 के टी सी स्क्वायर अपॉन न्यू नॉट स्क्वायर न्यू माइनस न्यू नॉट का होल स्क्वायर इज इक्वल टू एल एन 2. So multiplying the above equation by 2 to obtain full width at half maximum FWHM. इसको हम कहते हैं FWHM full width at half maximum. So delta nu will be 7.16 into 10 to the power minus 10 if we calculate all these. Then d nu is equal to minus c upon lambda square. We can write this d nu is equal to minus c upon lambda square d lambda, and delta lambda can be calculated as 7.16 10 to the power minus 7 lambda naught t delta under root t by m. So Doppler width is inversely proportional to under root m and Doppler broadening is proportional to under root t. Okay, so cooling the source reduces the broadening. This concludes that cooling the source reduces the broadening. Okay. This is the curve Gaussian and Lorentz line curve. This is the Gaussian curve and this is the Lorentzian curve. So as we have learned that Lorentzian curve represents Lorentzian function represents the homogeneous broadening and Gaussian function represents the inhomogeneous broadening. Okay, so this delta nu which we have calculated, this delta nu is the FWHM, full width at half maximum. That is full width of this peak value of this curve is GP. Okay, take the half of this GP, this value, इस वैल्यू का हाफ ले लो, this is half GP. Okay, so this ये जो वैल्यू होगी इस कर्व पे, this width is the FWHM, full width at half maximum. Okay, this LP is the peak value of the Lorentzian curve. This half GP is the half of the peak value of the Gaussian curve, and this half LP is the half of the peak value of the Lorentzian curve. Okay, so this width FWHM is called delta nu. This peak is found at the nu 0, frequency nu 0. So nu 0 is the frequency at the center of the line, and delta nu is line width. This delta nu is the line width. So amplitude falls to 1 of the half here. Okay. The peak value of the normalized Gaussian curve can be written as G nu naught equals to 2 by delta nu ln2 upon pi under root, where the FWHM value we have calculated there. So this is the formula: delta nu equals to 2 nu naught 2 kt ln2 upon m into c square. So do some example. Example 1 is a helium neon laser has a gas discharge temperature. This example. A helium neon laser has a gas discharge temperature of 400 Kelvin. The atomic mass of neon, which is responsible for lasing, is 3.35 into 10 to the power minus 25 kg. If the lasing wavelength is 630 nm, calculate the line shape broadening due to Doppler effect. So the Doppler frequency broadening is given by this formula: delta nu equals to 2 nu naught 2 kt under 2 kt ln2 mc square, which we have written over here. This okay, this. So given m equals to 3.35 into 10 to the power minus 25 kg and lambda is equal to 630 nm. So delta nu is equal to 2 nu naught this. So lambda is equal to, we know that c upon nu, because nu is equal to c by lambda. So lambda equals to c by nu. So FWHM for wavelength is given by delta lambda is equal to c by nu square delta nu. Okay. So c by nu naught square into delta nu we can write nearly equal to. Okay. So put these values: delta nu lambda. Okay, lambda, if we know lambda nu, we can calculate the nu. Okay, so we know the lambda and we have to find out the broadening. Okay, so delta lambda can be calculated from here, this equation. So c upon nu naught square into delta nu. So nu naught can be calculated as we have given the lambda. Okay, and m we know. Okay, so if nu naught is determined, then delta nu can be calculated from here. So delta nu, we know delta nu, we find nu naught. Okay, we know c, then we can calculate the delta lambda, and this is the value of delta lambda 0.002 nm. So this was all about the Doppler broadening. So एग्ज़ाम में आपके पास लाइन ब्रॉडनिंग स्कीम में जो है, या तो इस तरीके से आ सकता है क्वेश्चन कि लाइन ब्रॉडनिंग मैकेनिज्म क्या है, और इसमें इसकी जो है कैटेगरीज क्या क्या हैं, तो होमोजीनियस ब्रॉडनिंग एंड इनहोमोजीनियस ब्रॉडनिंग के बारे में आप बताएंगे। और फिर अगर आपके पास एक ही कैटेगरी जो है वो ही डिस्क्राइब करने के लिए आता है, तो आप जैसे इनहोमोजीनियस है तो उसमें डॉपलर ब्रॉडनिंग के बारे में बताएंगे, और होमोजीनियस ब्रॉडनिंग है तो उसमें नेचुरल ब्रॉडनिंग एंड कॉलिजन ब्रॉडनिंग के बारे में बताएंगे। ओके, तो आज के लिए इतना ही।